living proof. It's pretty safe to say. God give it, God take it away. It's the worldwide American way. I'm living proof.
What's going on, team? Proof here, and today I'm coming at you with the next section of games for my Dust testing series. Call it Dust and Haters. And before I get into it, I want to put in a little hot fix for the spike card of the day at the end. From this video forward through the rest of the series, I want you to private message me your guesses, because I didn't think about this at first, but I don't want the people that take the time to recognize the cards and give an answer, I don't want others to piggyback off of it if they're not certain of what the answer is. So I'm not going to accept any further submissions that are in the comment section below. Private message them to me on YouTube and I'll take it into account. Again, I won't confirm or deny them, but at least you know if you put in the effort to get it, it'll be just your guess alone. And then that way also people can't edit their answers to conform to what the common answer showing is. And that being said, today's question of the day is, did you play any other card games before coming to Vanguard? And for me personally, the biggest, I played a few games. I played Magic the Gathering for a bit with my friends at a very casual level. Excuse me. But the biggest game I played before coming to Vanguard was Duel Masters. And I love Duel Masters. It was the first card game I played where I started at the very beginning up until the game died in the English version of the game. And I really enjoyed it. I loved the way it worked. Dog going crazy. But I loved the mechanics of it. I loved the way the game played, and I was really sad when it didn't get the when it got axed over here. I didn't play Kaijudo just because I love Duel Masters so much that I didn't want to sully that with playing Kaijudo, and I didn't like the way Kaijudo functioned or in the way the game played, especially when they started making the rule changes for mana. So Duel Masters was my number one before it died, and then I came over to Vanguard and I started playing that ever since. So let me know your story about your past card games, and that'd be really cool to share. Now for the games, now that I've got that out the way, let's see. This one, 2-speed. This one was against Blasters. So Blasters can be kind of tricky just because you don't want to give them a bunch of damage, so where you don't get blown out by Flogo Blaster Blade plays. And as for me, my starting hand, I put all that back because I had a grade 1 and I had a Jelly Beans here. I got Rising Nova, so I've had pretty much everything I need to go into first drive Dust if I want to go that route. Oh no, I didn't have a grade 2. At least I remember this time, unlike the first game yesterday. So I still need to get 2 heals in my hand to be able to use my Dust. But I take that because I really didn't want to block that because it would cost me 2 cards to do it, so he can go ahead and get his free blaster unit. And he got the grade 1 counter charger. And for me, since I didn't want to give him a bunch of damage, I simply just rode up and I called Acrobat there because I can pitch the Instructor. And then I didn't move it up, so I didn't want to give him 2 counter blasts to use because I didn't know what his hand contained. Oh, I used Mecha. Wow. That's oh, I did move it up. Scratch what I said. That's not bad at all. I support that play because in that way, if he wanted to use his 2 counter blasts, he would have to use Blaster Blade to get there. So that makes sense. So he calls that out. He gets his blaster. He's probably gonna go this blaster. Yep. And I took that on the chin, give myself a couple counter blast in. Use this one here, this one. Use Jelly Beans to get my second heal, and now I have what I need to go into to Dust. The question is, do I want to use Mecha to get a tier? Oh, I see what I did there. Passproof making some good plays, not gonna lie. Because I know this blaster dude here, he can only retire grade 1 or greater. So, and Blaster Blade grade 2 can't target grade 1 or grade 1 or grade 0s, my bad. So I went ahead and called Mecha here, and then I could still set up for Dust and then get tier and do all my good stuff from there. So G-guard this one into a gleam / rectum, and then pitch the schemer. Hopefully I drew it. I was hoping to draw into tier, but I got a black guard here, which is even not better, but it still makes me function. I can get an attack in before I go into my vanguard attack. And then I got a nice draw trigger or damage trigger there. Pretty much shut down his sequence here. And then Linus this one into, and then flip up Dismal. And then I put the 2 Lindsay's into the bind zone to get my counter charge back. So no matter what, nice. So I have 2 Craze face up, and then if I draw into, didn't, but if I drew into that'd have been nice. Cause then I could have got Liar Lips off of Mecha Trainer instead. So gave myself some flexibility there. Use Dust, set his Vanguard to 1. He can't intercept anymore, and his hand is a bunch of 5k shields and a couple Liens. But on my side, I have double Frog Raider, which gives the combo so much more oomph that is crazy. Grab the tier, and then we're gonna put Frog here, tier right here, and then a black guard in either one of the frog sides, because it doesn't matter in this case because I don't have the schemer anymore. Then we're gonna go black guard side to vanguard. He's technically at 10,000. 10,001 I should say. So I'll go over this more later, but there's instructor math to know how many cards in hand you need to use your full instructor combo and keep an extra card for, actually I'll go over it now. Basically, if you multiply your open counterblast by 2 and then add 1, that's how many you need to be able to combo Great Star and Instructor and keep 1 more card left in your hand to utilize with Instructor's call skill. That's under the presumption that you just have Great Star and Instructor. I think it gets a little messy when you include Blackguard into it. Call out Star. The Star skill, call out the Instructor to this side. And then we attack with our boy Star here on his what's his 22 on 10,001, which is 15k shield, which is it would be 3 cards out of his hand, but since we don't have the new rules in place yet, he'd be locked in with the 2 Wingle use in his hand. So that's game 1. I'm gonna fade this out to game 2. I'm not gonna say pause it because I don't pause it. Fade this out to game 2 and I'll be right back. So with that win over Blasters, that currently put us at 4-1 for testing, and so far I've been really liking what I have in hand. I can't talk. I've been liking what I've been seeing, and I'm just, whoa. What is this hand? I'm going against Magus. So since I didn't go first, my philosophy is if I don't have a grade 1, if I'm going first, I always pass turn because I can always draw into it afterwards. But since I went second without a grade 1, I G-assist for it. And since I have a grade 2, I choose not to use beans to get Monty, because I think it'd just be a waste of the resources there. Rifle Kerr, call out this man's Acrobat, get my Rise Nova, then I pitch the Jelly Beans. Or do I pitch, yeah, I pitched the Cunning Brain, because A, it gets into the drop zone for any type of Picaro play, and B, I'm gonna have my bigger guards come in once I use Jelly Beans to get my heals, that I won't need them in my hand. And I have the Liar Lips as a 10k shield if I need to. Pentagonal, he gets the draw, nice and handy. So my plan of action here is to set up for Hellheart 8 at the moment. And my thinking is that since I G-assisted and I saw that I had the means to go into Hellheart 8, it would have been much better for me, in my opinion, to go for Great Star, because then I could recoup this Acrobat here to draw me a card at the end of my turn. Especially because I was going to go into Marindal pretty much 100% of the time right there. Attack rear guard, because then I can't give him limit break. Unless I didn't care about the limit break. No, I didn't care about the limit break. +5 in the crit isn't that much anymore. I remember back in the day when I first moved to my current town, I went to my local store and a guy was playing Magus when I was playing Bat-In and stuff. And that +5 in the crit was so much more dangerous back then. It's crazy how the game has changed. So, for my hand, I have my 3 heals, and I wanted to make sure I set up effectively so that I don't... I think what I did here, I think I triple G-guarded Globe Magus here, because at worst he would double crit me in my eyes, to where I could still guard it effectively and still use Hellheart 8 on him. I think would have been, nah, it would have been the same, and then I would have lost the Acrobat anyway. But yeah, if I had Great Star instead of Rise of Nova, I could have absorbed that Acrobat and drew me a card off of it. Get some coffee. So then he gets himself another card off of this girl here. Nice and heal trigger. So I can easily take this attack here and not worry about it, because it's not with a crit or anything like that. Or giving up the draw, or giving up the starter, he had to give up the attack anyhow. Globe Magus is annoying. And I was thinking, and it feels like part of me was thinking of going Dust here, but I didn't want to risk it on that one. And since I had 2 Lilaps in my hand and I'm on Rise and Nova, I can give plus 20,000 to Frog just off of these 2 attacking, and then go into my triple drive and come in with a lot of heat behind my attacks. Because I can draw 2 cards, put one in, call, and then triple drive. I'd be up to at least 6 cards in my hand. Stride skill, give up this. Call out not instructor, Great Star. Give Frog another 10,000. So you got 3 buffs. So he took this one on the chin. So what's it, 66,000? 68, which is hard for his G guards to stop. Easy for the PGs, and as we can see, he has 2 PGs, but I have 6 more attacks ready to go, at the very least. And thinking back on it, if I did grab Great Star, I would have at least 1 more card in my hand. So it kind of just shows how every card matters. And it would have been better for me since I had to pitch for G, since I could have recouped that card back to be able to have 1 more card, just in case he had just enough to survive. I would have been wishing I had that 1 extra card in my hand. So getting some I don't think I bothered to count that. Let's see, I'm trying to confirm what he did. So this is 25, 35. 35 plus 15 is 50, 55 plus the trigger. Yeah, so he was good. So he had 2 PGs left to stop 2 attacks here, but he didn't have enough to stop the 2 beyond that. At least that's what I was thinking going into it. I think I knew he had at least 1 PG. I don't think I've seen the second one, but at this point, when you commit to Hellheart 8, you just gotta go for it. And when I have a 42k Frog Raider, I can't let that, especially when I had the setup, that was my best chance of winning. And let me throw out the Tiger here, just in case he had some other type of G-guard stuff going on, and pull out the W there. So I think I managed the game the best way I could, minus not getting the great star that I was reiterating before. But it was a really nice game on that side. So I'll come back with game 3, as you can see this in a little bit. Let's see. Third game of the day / game 7 is against Luard. Not Guise Luard this time, or Luard Guise, however you want to say it. I put back 4. I get back a pretty good hand. And since I'm going first, my thinking was maybe set up for dust. My thinking is always thinking dust first, unless against most decks. But against Luard, it's not super forward pressing to where you can wager getting the time to go for Hellheart 8. So I rolled up to Blackguard. And in theory, given the time that he gave me, I could have thought about sitting on grade 2 for a turn and taking his Sea Breeze turn. That's something you gotta think about, because I had a Mecha Trainer, a heal, and a Mecha Trainer, to where if he chose to sit at grade 2, he can give me a damage, maybe crit, and I can go up to Sea Breeze plus the 2 Mecha Trainers. Or he could have rolled up to grade 3 and then used his own Sea Breeze, and then I could have went into my stride and set up for Hellheart 8 like I did in the Magus game just now. But some things you gotta think about there. I chose to go the dust route and see how many cards I can force out of his hand. I don't know if that's right, and my thinking is that it may have been wrong, but this is what you do testing games for, is to figure out the proper lines to take against certain matchups. Especially because I didn't have a tier at the time either, but I got lucky and got one off the top on my drive checks. So my thinking is that it would have been better for me to hold back a turn and stay at grade 2 and see what he did, and then choose to go into Dust or Hellheart 8 from there. Because Shadow Paladin presently doesn't have a G-Guard to interact with my board, so I could have easily gone into played the slower game here. But he chose to play a slow game too. I'm guessing he knew about Dust or the potential of Spikes having Dust, or looking at his hand, he doesn't have much of anything behind it. And I was thinking here of what to do, and I chose to... What did I give up? Did I give up the frog? Interesting. And I think from here, I chose to take a little bit slower as well. I think I played this game all wrong, in all honesty. But I kind of got bailed out by the fact that Luard doesn't have a lot of forward momentum. At least his version of Luard doesn't have a lot of forward momentum going forward, to where I could have played slower. But I can notice where I could have played this differently. So Ritual Cross. I think he goes into Drag Abyss here. Oh no, he goes into Spectral Diablo. I ain't seen this man in a minute. Or no, he doesn't. Never mind. Still don't see this man. Ghost. He goes into Doomed again. Let's see. So, nope, not him either. Okay, so he does go Drag Abyss. So let's see, my thinking was that take a couple damage and set up for Dust, because I had the means. Because I could have G-guarded with a Gleam Rack Tomb, and then I could have used Linus here, which gave me 4 face-up counterblast, to where when I go into Dust, no matter what, I can get all my counterblasts back to be able to use them. And I have a frog here. Even though I gave up, actually, yeah, I think that was still the better play, given the route that I took was to pitch the Frog Raider for Cunning Brain. So he gets massive power, nice 10k. This gets some power. And then knowing that I was going to go into Dust next turn, when I took that one, not bad. Oh, I took it just in case he healed off of it. That's smart. I line this here, hit him with a nice tutor pass. I don't know what I'm doing here. I think I was just setting up for dust things. See, hit him 61. That's a no pass. Yeah, then he hit the heal. That's why I took that damage there. In my opinion, it's usually better if you have the means to protect yourself to take the damage to get ahead, so that way if they do heal, you don't get burned for it. So I have five G units, so the dust is enabled. The dust is ready to roll. Even though I didn't have Great Star or Blackguard, kind of hurt that to see this guy here hit the damage zone before I was able to draw it off of a Gleam. Go for dust. That's why I like facing Luargis. Just because the damage check doesn't matter. So what I was gonna do here, given my hand situation, was to call Frog here, call Tier to the open side here. That way I have a booster ready to go if I need it, and I am gonna need it. Get my 3 back, and then attack with Vanguard, call out Star to the Tier side, call out Instructor to the Frog side. This man had pretty good guard, but he had a lot of grade 2s in his hand. And then this guy can go unboosted. Nice crit. I think I gave the crit to Instructor. This has been a funny time to have Frog Raider in the front. So I'll go on boosted here because I wanted to save the tier boost for later in the sequence to be able to push through. So this is 2 crit. This costs him 25k guard, I should say. Bind, call. Same formation as last time. It's gonna be interesting to see how Dust is going to be impacted in the premium set when the triggers have higher base power. But 21k 1000 is going to be a nice number for Dust to hit, because when heals have plus 20, or when the shield value for heals is 20,000, 21,000 is going to be able to still force 2 cards out of their hand. So it's going to be something to keep in mind, especially in the world when ideally when you check a trigger, it's going to be plus 10,000 power for Frog Raider. So it's going to be interesting to see what premium spikes is going to have in store for it. I can't wait for the new cards to come out. But that's that game, and we got 1 more to go. So I'm going to be right back with that. So out of the 7 games we played, we're currently 6-1, and we got some good notes to take going forward here. And in this game coming up, we got Luargis. So we went from regular Geese to Luargis. And I got a pretty good hand here, because I can ride the Instructor, not the Instructor, gosh, learn names, the Cunning Brain, and keep the other pieces in my hand for later. And as I mentioned yesterday, if you saw that video, against Geese decks, I choose not to be overly aggressive, because that way they don't get more damage checks coming for them. Because that puts them in a position where they have to attack, and that's better for us going forward in the long term. Honestly, I don't know why I didn't. I don't know why I didn't call out Acrobat sooner, but never punished. So this puts him in a position to where I can potentially Sea Breeze and go for Hellheart 8, because I have the heal trigger now plus 2 Jelly Beans. So I'll just go ahead and take that. Ride up to Rise of Nova, I believe. And then I can Sea Breeze here, pitching to Monty. Get Frog. Why'd I go Great Star here? Especially because Luar can just easily, he can easily Ritual. So, misplay here on my part, in my opinion. That nice, that refund of Jelly Beans. I think I went Great Star here, thinking that I could triple G guard into GB2, but I should realize sooner that Shadow Paladins have a bunch of ways to get rid of grade 1s through their stride skills and other skills, that it wasn't worth it, and probably would have been better off going on Rise of Nova. That way I can call out a unit for that nice handy +5. So let's see, he doesn't have the guy that extends his attacks. So the key is just to make sure I G-guard effectively to not get blown out by some errant crit or something like that. I think I just went ham. I think this way I did it just to be able, I could set up, oh, that's right, because Geese doesn't give him power, so I could just easily use Mecha Instructor to stop this column here. And then he's trying to argue that I couldn't use so many G guards, so I had to notify him that I could. Yeah, I was just I was clarifying the rule over here that I could still use Linus, because when I went into the other Linuses, I didn't have 4 G units face up, because the guard circle doesn't count the face up requirement. So I was thinking I was on Rise of Nova the whole time. So that's something I gotta remember going forward, is that I got to be on the right Ryzen to use certain things. I like how I didn't even grab the card back. I should still have 5 cards in my hand. It was a shame maneuver. I think this is the game here where I realized about the how the Great Star Instructor loop contributes to Hellheart 8 plays. Because I easily could have went into it and buffed up my Frog Raider to be able to hit over his attacks, or thinking he had way more guard in his hand than he actually did, I could still hit over it. But a lot of people are wondering why I like this version of the deck more than the quote-unquote pure Hellheart 8 version, and it's because it's more flexible, because I can do things like go into Dust or play a different type of game to where I can be more aggressive because of Dust, and then I can set up for Hellheart 8 on the back end if I need to, things like that. I love decks with flexibility. And I love decks that kind of have a split focus that come together as a cohesive whole, which makes me happy. So yeah, I finally realized I could have did this Instructor combo again to just give massive power to Frog Raider, and it's something that I've taken forward with me since then, since this game was played, to where I just could give stupid amounts of power to Frog Raider. It's an easy 20,000 shield to be able, or 20,000 power buff to Frog Raider to be able to keep hitting over attacks. And I don't think it costs you any extra cards in your hand. which is the best part because you get the attack back after you bind and recall it instructor. So Sar's now hitting for, whoa, not bad. It's hitting for 30 or 58,000 instead of 38,000, which is something you need to think about if you want to keep using this version of the deck. Instructor, I think this is 51 now. Yeah. So, anywho, so that'll do it for this series of games here. Currently sitting at 7-1, but even though I've been winning most of these, I've still been noticing mistakes and things I could do better to sharpen up my play, which is why I like doing these things. And I thought that's why I wanted to do this series, to show you that, like, even though things can go a certain way, there's always room to continue to look back and see for improvement. And I want to get into a better habit of looking back at my old games. So hope you enjoyed this. Hope you're still enjoying the series. Remember, for the spike card of the day, to send me a private message with your guesses, and don't put them down in the comments below, because if you take the time to look at it and you think you have it right, you don't want somebody else to piggyback off of it and put themselves with another chance into the drawing, because that one extra name entry could boot you out. So keep that in mind. Hope you enjoy the series still. Look out for more, and until next time, peace, be easy.